Hello, my name is Sigma and today I shall show you how to netplay Mega Man Star Force 3 on the melonDS emulator. So before we get started, I have left some links in the description for all the important files which need to be downloaded for this tutorial. One of the first is WinPCCap. It's a network library which the emulator uses to connect to the internet, so you'll want to make sure that you download and install this first before you do anything. Download the version which supports your OS. I have Windows 7, so I use the Windows 7 version of WinPCCap. The second file is of course the emulator itself. The emulator requires a BIOS 7.bin, a BIOS 9.bin, and firmware.bin to function. For legal reasons, I cannot link you to these BIOSes and firmware directly, but you can dump them from your own Nintendo DS or find plenty of them online. Lastly, we need a WFC patcher. This will be used to patch our game so that it can connect to alt WFC servers, which will allow us to play with other players. Once you have found the firmware and BIOS files for the emulator, make sure that you rename the files to what is shown on the screen right now. It is extremely important. Don't forget to change the file format of the BIOS files. Usually, when you get them from an online source, they come in a .rom format, but you want to change it to a .bin format. Ignore any errors from Windows about the file being unstable. So once we've downloaded all of the files which we need and installed WinPCCap onto our systems, we're going to extract our emulator next. Once the emulator has been extracted, we shall go into its root directory and place the BIOS files there. Along with that, we shall also create a folder called ROMs, which is where we shall store our saves and games in. So that's our emulator pretty much set up for the most part. What you want to do next is you want to go back to the place where you downloaded all of the files mentioned in the video description, and what you want to do is you want to extract the WFC patcher. So once you've extracted your WFC patcher, you want to go into its root directory, and it's also the place where you want to put your game in. As you can see, I've already put in the best version of Mega Man Star Force 3, and that's Red Joker. So now that you have your game in your WFC patchers directory, the next thing you want to do is simply drag and drop your game onto the WFC patcher.exe, and it will patch and create a modified version of your game which will be compatible with alt WFC servers. It should have a no SSL tag at the end of its name. So now that we have patched our game, we are going to place it into the emulator's ROMs folder. Once it's placed there, we will start up the emulator, load up the game, and then configure it for netplay. Okay, so we are pretty much ready to go ahead and configure our game for netplay. So what you want to do is you want to go to the emulator's root directory, you want to launch melonDS, then you want to go on File, Open ROM, and you want to launch the ROM, which is our game, from the ROMs folder which we created. And speaking of the ROMs folder, make sure you have your save files in there, and make sure that your save files are not only a .sav format, but also have the exact same name as the game, except the extension. Okay, so at this point, what we want to do is we just want to launch the game, the best version of the game, Red Joker. We just skip the intro, load up our data, and what you want to do first is you want to click this menu part right here, choose the network tab, tap left twice, and here we have the network menu. You want to go to Wi-Fi down here and go to the bottom again, press left twice, So first things first, what you want to do is you want to check your options. And as you can see, this pink part right here means we have to erase our WFC profile. If it's gray, then you can just skip this part. But essentially, if it's pink, you want to click this and it will erase your WFC profile. This is just to make sure everything will work afterwards. And right now, it closes down the ROM. And what we're going to do now is we just want to open the ROM again. So File, Open ROM, and then load it from the ROMs folder. So we go to the menu again, same steps as last time. So now that that's sorted, what we're going to do is we want to choose the blue option this time. And we want to choose one of these network setups. And you want to choose this option. It will search for an access point, and we're going to find the melonAP emulated access point. So just let it search for a while. There we go. And as you can see, we found the melonAP. So click on that. And the first time around, you're going to get an error, which is fine. If anything, you want an error. You want error 2100. That means everything will work out fine once we enter the correct DNS addresses into the network. Takes a while to fail, but okay. Okay, there we go. So error 2100, that's what we want. Press A to back out. Click on this setup again. Go all the way down. For the DNS part here, set it to this option. And then you want to enter the DNS address of our alt WFC server, which is 104.131.9387. And to enter it, you just click this button here. So that's the DNS address, 104.131.9387. And you choose the bottom right option to confirm. And then you do the same for the other field. Once that's done, let's do a connection test to make sure everything's working fine. And voila, there we go. Now that everything's working fine, we want to save these settings. We want to exit out to the network menu of the game and choose the top option for Wave Battle. Click the left option twice. Just give it a while, it's going to connect to the server, and there we go. We are connected. So when you want to search for matches, what you want to do is you want to click this part, and do not touch the first part of this menu, just touch the second part. You just tap it once and change it to OK. Once it's changed to OK, you press OK, and then it will start searching for a match. Of course, I don't have anyone to play with me right now, but as shown in the previous video, it works, and it works quite well. So anyway, happy net battling, and see you guys later.